Hey guys, Zob here from OneGlanceTrader.com and welcome back to part two of my trading journal. And for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm trading a expert advisor that I've created. So, 99.9% automated, 0.1% discretionary. And what I want to do in this video is take you behind the scenes into the account so you can see what the balance is, what trades I'm taking, the good and the bad, as well as the actual EA settings that I run for this EA. And if you want to go back and check out more about the EA or just look back at past videos, just click the link in the top right hand corner or click the link in the description to go to the actual full playlist. So check that one out. So full disclosure, as I've always said, that this EA is running on a demo account. I really want to forward test this EA. I've back tested it and I'll show you the back testing results in future videos. But what I really wanted to do was, see how the EA not only runs, but how my own emotions get into check while running the EA. So even though it is automated and it is quote unquote fake money, I still wanted to put a realistic kind of balance in there, and you'll look at that in a second, just because that's how much I would actually put into the EA. So I wanted to try and make it as realistic as possible, not only for me but for you guys as well watching this stuff, so you can kind of see what I'm saying and how I'm reacting based on what's going on. So like I said, demo account. So this is MT4 on my actual computer, and for those who watched part one, will know that I'm running the EA on a VPS, and I'll go on to another video about the VPS and kind of how all that works. So I've opened up a new window, which is my VPS, which has got empty Windows on there, MT4. It's got the EAs on there and some other indicators, which I'll talk about at some point. So what I wanted to show at the moment is that the account is £33 and 13p up with one active trade, which is in profit, which is good. So I started the account with £1,000. So this account is now 3.3% up. I'm just trying to remember if I go to the account history. So again, ignore this minus 5,000. I was mucking around with another trading system then, but effectively I took that 5 grand out and then I put 1,000 into the account on the 27th of February. So pretty much at the end of February, beginning of March, and the date today is, just bear with me, let me go back on here. The date's the 11th, so it's running about just a little over a week. And the reason why I didn't use this is because this VPS server is in, I don't know, somewhere else, and it's got a different weird date and time on it. So that's why I went back out on it and went back to the other one. But yeah, so it's been running for about a week. It started with £1,000 in there. We'll have a look at some of the trades, and there's some good examples on here actually, on how these trades have worked out for itself. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show. And going back to the trade, so yeah, we're up 3.3% over, like I said, over a week, which is better than having money in the bank. Let's just put it that way. So before I go into some of the trades, let me show you in terms of what currency pairs it's on. So it's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pairs. So again, I'll do another video, probably the next one, in terms of back testing this EA and why I've chosen these particular pairs. So I'll go into that. And this USD monthly is running the my FX book EA, so because I want to actually put it on my FX book so people can start tracking to see how it's done there. So that's what that is. I've not really set it up properly, so I'll look into that at some point. So just to let you know in terms of what the settings actually are, and then we'll have a look at some of the trades that happened today or maybe on Friday. So I believe it's F7. Okay, so this is the EA in terms of the settings, and what I'll do is make that a bit bigger so you guys can see, and then just walk you through what each one of these things are. This one, what this is telling you here is when it produces a signal to go buy or short, you can actually select how much of a pullback you actually want in the previous bar. So if you want to open straight on the close, or you want a bit of a retracement, i.e., 10%, 20%, 50% of that bar, you can get in at a kind of a better price. What I've noticed back testing this is that when you try to do multiple trades, or the EA tries to do multiple trades, if this sometimes it doesn't take the signal because it doesn't reach whatever threshold you put in here. So my backtesting results have shown that to get the best results is to keep this at 0, so we'll open on the close of the previous bar. So that's what I've set it to. I've selected multiple trades true, and we'll go into an example of that. I think it's I can't remember which pair it was actually that had a few trades that were open on this one today. So we'll have a look at that. And again, in part one, I give you an example of the multiple trade features. So we got spread. So if the spread is above 2 points, it doesn't take the trade. So again, try to really hopefully get me out of any particular news events and things like that. And then these were some of the questions that we had in part one. So I'm going to skip the take profit and go straight to this one. So I want to gain 0.1% profit on every single trade that it enters. And I want to do that across 5 pips. So if you go back into part one, you'll work out how that all works, and I go into a bit more detail in terms of what that is. So, but my settings are to gain 0.1% over 5 pips. And this bit here is around all your RSI settings. So here I've chosen the standard 14 period on close. I've not really back tested or optimized the settings to see whether a 21 or a 7 is a better. I've just kept it with the standard 14 period. And then the RSI level. So what I wanted to do is try to go a bit deeper into the RSI. So instead of doing 70 and 30, I've done 75 and 25 to really get, deep into oversold territory. This one here is I'm trying to look at higher time frames, so you can select whether you want to look down towards each chart depending on what you're on, or you can look up on each chart depending on what you're on. So I've done the higher time frames, and I've done quantity 1, so it's one time frame higher than what the current chart is. So what this is saying is that if the RSI is overbought or oversold on the current time frame, which in this case is the 5-minute and the 15-minute, which is one time frame higher, it will then produce a signal that both time frames are overbought or oversold. And I'll go into an example of how it opens trades inside a second. I've also got push notifications, so throughout the day I've been getting notifications of when not only the signals are coming in, so there's a potential up, a potential down signal, but also when it opens the trades and closes out the trades. Again, it's got some slippage on there and the magic number, and if you're doing running multiple EAs. So that is the indicator settings. Again, as you can see, it's fully customizable in terms of what it is that you want to do. So you can say that I want to gain 10 pips and then 2% per trade, and I only want the RSI to be 70 and 30, but it has to be on the 5, 15 and 30 minutes. So if you wanted to do that example, you'll put 2 inside here, and it will only take trades when the RSI is overbought on the 5, 15 and 30 minutes. So hopefully that makes sense in terms of the actual settings. And now let's go look at some trades. So if we go to the account history at the top, so again, sorted by date order, having a look today. So let's have a look at the I'm just trying to find one that got me into a bit of trouble as an example. Well, that's probably not a good example, GBJ. Let's have a look, see what I've got. I'm trying to find an example of that ran multiple trades. There was any today, which is not there. Okay, let's have a look at here on the GPP JPY. So today it had three sell trades. So the first sell trade was here, the second sell trade was there, and the third sell trade was here. So if I zoom in a bit, because it might help you understand what actually happened. Okay, so the first sell trade was so that is a win there. Yep, that's the one there at 146. Yep, fine. Okay, so let me explain what's going on here. So we've got. Let me take this off so I can scroll on this side for you and explain it. So what these red arrows are, so the RSI was overbought on the 5-minute and 15-minute across these 5 bars over here. Yeah. Then what it does is it waits until there's then a bar doesn't meet the condition. So in this scenario here, I haven't got the RSI up, but this bar here, my assumption is that the 5-minute went below 75. Yeah. So when that happens, so that therefore you don't see any red arrow, it will take a sell trade at the end, at the close of that bar. And if I go back to the settings just very quickly, just to show you. So this bit here, if this was at 50%, for example, what it would do is it would wait for the next bar to retrace back to 50%. So you can see here just about there, it probably would have made it so the price you would have got in is probably a better price. That's basically what that does there. And then it gets in, and then as you can see, it went down quite nicely, quite quickly. What was that? 1, 2, 3. And in 15 minutes, it closed out and made 5 points, aka 0.1% gain. So then you carry on throughout the day. And then over here, again, 5-minute and 15-minute were overbought on 2 time frames. And then this bar here, I'm guessing the 5-minute was not overbought anymore, opens the trade, and there you go, you make your 5 pips there. And then over here, it's actually placed out 2 trades over here. So let me try to explain this to you so you can see how this is a good example of where two trades were open. So this bar, 5-15-minute were overbought. The 5-minute came out of overbought territory, and then therefore at the close of this bar it opens a trade, yeah, which is the blue line over here. Then what happened is the 5-minute and 15-minute went overbought again. Bar was not overbought and therefore creates another trade. So therefore it's created 2 trades over here. Two sell trades, went against me, and then eventually on this bar here came down, and then the aggregate of these 2 trades was in profit by 0.1% and therefore closed out both trades at this level. Because if you look at it here, don't think this even makes 5 pips, does it? I guess it does, just about ish. And there's an example there of where it opened up 2 trades. So that's an example there of that one. Let me see if I can get another one. This is a trade that I'm in at the moment, which is now inside my favor. But okay, perfect. So here's an example here of where it opens up 2 trades. This was back on the 7th of March. So if I show you this one, let's get rid of that so I can scroll across. Apologies for it being a bit slow because it's, again, like I said, it's on a VPS. Okay, so overbought. Okay, so this is the first bar that it wasn't oh sorry, this bar here was the first bar that wasn't overbought. So it creates a sell trade over here, and as you can see, it only made like 2 pips and then went completely against me. And then it went overbought, 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 overbought again. This bar came out of overbought, and therefore it's created a new trade here. So now we've got 2 trades open, where the first trade is about 29 points against me at this current point before the second trade gets open. Therefore the second trade gets open, and then even the second trade goes against me, and then eventually it bombs out and then starts to go down. So if I zoom out slightly, so you can see, and eventually it starts to go down, 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 and then at this point here, both of these trades combined have a profit of 0.1%, and therefore the trade gets closed out at this area over here. And then what happened is we actually get then an oversold area. So again, signal gets created over there. This bar here is the first signal without it, so it opens a buy trade, goes against me, goes up, didn't quite make it, then goes against me again, and there you go, over here it gets me out there. So that's pretty much how the EA is actually working at the moment. Again, I have this one trade here, let's see where we're at. It's 22p up, and if I go to the account history, generally it's just over £1, which is 0.1% at this current point in time, so about 80p away for that being a profitable trade. So have a quick look here. That's the one we were looking at. So GBP USD kind of followed the same pattern as GJ earlier. One trade here, one trade here, one trade here. All 3 trades profitable. Go back on the Aussie dollar again. Nice. These are the prime setups here. Sell signal there. This bar came out of overbought territory, looking for a sell. Went against me a little bit, and boom, came in there and made that one. Thankfully it did, otherwise it's gone against me again. So that's pretty cool. Did this create a trade? Yeah, it did. You can just about see it. Again, this is what I like about this. This indicator is not bad at picking tops. And this one here came in and then made its 5 points nicely there. Went on a nice little run there. And again, this is the bit I'm looking at with this EA, is how can I try to grab more? But that's for another day. USD JPY, not much activity. Not much activity there for a while. And I think this is an example I showed in part 1, and then another one there, another buy signal, but nothing else really much going on over there. And then USD, this is where I got involved from a discretionary perspective, where I'll use this example at some point, not now, won't go through it now, but effectively created one trade here, one trade here, one trade here, one trade here, and I had to get out at break even at this point, so I had to get involved to, because I think 0.1% was around here somewhere, so I think it probably would have made it, but I'll use this as an example when I talk about my discretionary trading at some point. So yeah, that's, like I said, that's pretty much, how it is. I'm very, very happy with how this is performing at this current point in time. Like I said, one open trade at the moment. Looks like that's going to work out pretty nicely. And if I go back to the account, one trade, I could probably just close this out now, really, to be honest, and not have to worry about it. But I'm going to stick to my rules at the moment and just let this thing play out on its own. But 3.3% in just over a week, that's great. There was points where I was like 30-40 pound in drawdown with that Euro USD that you showed there, so days like that will happen. They're all not going to be as smooth as this, but at the moment, touch wood, it's going pretty well. And yeah, subscribe, comment, provide your feedback, and like I said, if it's going as well as this, I plan to release this EA a lot sooner. So hope you enjoyed that video, and look forward to seeing you in part 3.